Okay, so me and my friend Matt here, there he is in this fedora. We just played through our second game, 2, of Starcraft the board game. And our review is such that it sucks nuts. It's terrible. You have the 3 factions, and you get 2 colors in each one. So you have Zerg, Terran, and Protoss. And the first problem I have with the figures, that is a huge glaring issue, is that though the 2 colors are here, you use units from both colors because they failed at modeling the figures right. So not every faction has what they need. They have to pull from the other colors. So you can never play it with 6 people. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. As far as component quality, though, it's a fantastically beautiful game. I mean, you have to agree. I mean, it's pretty. It's very pretty. I mean, look at it. Just, I mean, the bold quality is out of this world.
Come on now, let's do this properly. Womp. That's the good one. Not because of quality, just because it's the best.
Trying to get it to focus. Hold on. See if I can get this to focus right, because you guys got to see this. Oh, come on. Okay, well, it doesn't want to focus. It did before, but it doesn't now. Probably because I started the video. Anyway, that's enough of that. The components, I mean, like, these are thick cardboard. I mean, the quality of the printing is fantastic. The card quality, the card art is fantastic. Everything's clear on the cards. However, the rulebook, right over here, Mr. Rulebook, 48 pages long. Okay, it's a 48-page rulebook. That's all the rules is 48 pages, not including the index and anything like that. It's a huge rulebook. It's absolutely confusing. It makes you jump all over the place. It's poorly written. I mean, for Fantasy Flight, they're not known for the rulebooks, but it's bad. It's pretty bad. There's tons of cardboard pieces. Component quality is good. Gameplay, terrible. It's a giant game of rock, paper, scissors. I paid $70 used to get a giant game of rock, paper, scissors. Zerg is going to beat Protoss. Protoss is going to beat Terran. Terran's going to beat Zerg. Every time. Hands down, that's the way it's going to go. And first player picks their faction. Second player picks their faction next. So second player is always going to win, because they're always going to be able to pick the opposing thing. Now, if you play with 3 people, you have all 3 factions out there. It's basically a race to the end, which means Protoss is going to lose because they're slow as frick. Who's going to win? Probably Terran. They get more combat cards. Their units are tougher. Overall, Zerg can rush, but if Zerg try to rush Terran, they're going to lose. They rush Protoss, they'll win. Then once Protoss is out, Terran can go in and beat Zerg. It's just stupid.
It ends up as a battle to see who can kill their ideal enemy the fastest. But at that point, whoever kills their ideal enemy the first is going to then lose.
Yeah, so don't get this game. It's a good thing Fantasy Flight doesn't make it anymore, because they probably realized how bad it was. You can still get the Brood War expansion, but that doesn't do you any good unless you have this thing. If you really love StarCraft and you really want to play this game, you're welcome to my copy. I will send it to you for free. Just, I don't know, send me $65, and you can have it.
You have a very strange definition of the word free.
Free shipping.
Oh. See what you're doing there.
Yeah. I'll ship it to you for free. I would just like to get a little bit of my money back for this thing, because it's a pain in the arse nugget. I can't recommend this game to anyone who really loves StarCraft, but if you really want to try it, you're welcome to take my copy off my hands.
Or anyone who plays board games for that matter.
If you're big into board games, I wouldn't really suggest it. If you know nothing about StarCraft, it's probably not terrible, but I mean,
if you want to play,
if you're not hardcore gamers,
if you want to play an RTS, play a video game. If you want to play an RTS board game, play Rune Wars. Aside from that, it's just not worth it. I mean, you end up spending an hour setting it up, 2 hours playing it, only to come to realize that unless some miracle happens and you manage to take all of your opponent's resources, you're going to lose, especially if you're first player. And that doesn't even include the fact that if you go second and they decide to make an entire stack of objectives order, or they're called orders, is what they're gonna do. Right? You'd start putting them here.
They look like that piece there.
So realistically, let's say
So
you got stuff here, and let's say you got stuff over here. You got stuff over here, and I'm over here, and you want to put all of your order things over here, and I'm going second. I can put one of my things on top of your entire stack of orders and keep you from going at all until my whole wonderful thing is done. And then I'll let you go. But at that point, I've probably taken over your base if I'm second player. Because I like raping people with Archons.
It's stupid. And I did it too in the first game. I Zerg rushed him, and I turn 2. I had, for anyone who's played Starcraft, turn 2. I had 5 things of Zerglings, which would be probably equivalent to what?
5 things of Zerglings.
I had 5 of these, so 5 of these would equal in the video game what? 20? 30?
20, 30 probably.
20 or 30 Zerglings. I had a Hydralisk, an Ultralisk. I did have a Hydralisk. I had two or three Hydralisks and an Ultralisk, which that alone in game is enough to just make anyone pee their pants.
And a queen.
And a queen.
That's
and I
just queen does. I keep forgetting what the queen does.
Yeah, he's just looking for it for the sake of looking for it because we don't have time to explain all the cards and stuff. But it's exactly. And I just walked over, destroyed his base, took over the planet, and he was able to make a carrier kill like 2 things, and then the following turn I was like, took the planet, and we're like, we're done with this. We're done. And we tried playing it again with different factions, and it's not worth it.
No,
I mean,
it's when he's playing Terran and I'm playing Toss, and and I managed to get an Archon right in the middle of his base by turn 2 or 3. And then managed to just spawn 2 more just because once you get to that point, you just start dumping them out. Toilet bowl.
Yeah. Zerg is stuck to Zerg rushing. Protoss has to toilet bowl. And Terran does what Terran does. They make Marines and fire bats and go and win. I mean,
just like that.
Exactly like that. I mean, you can get to the siege tanks if you really want to, and they will do all kinds of nasty things.
Not in a 2-player game.
You're not going to get there in a 2-player game. You might get there in a 3-player game, definitely in a 4-player game. And, oh man, I mean, I would say Terran's most likely to win. I mean, you?
I'd say it would really, really, really...
In a 3-player game, 4-player game.
4-player game, I would say Terran would probably come out on top just because they have the best balance. They get a ton of units, and their units get really, really buffed with their combat cards because, I mean, I have to work super hard just to get my Zealots to do 4 damage. And he decides to drop something that just makes one of his Marines a 7/7. No, that was your Vulture.
Vulture.
He made his Vulture just a 7/7. I'm sitting here with my Zealot, and I drop a combat card on him, and I'm thinking, I got this. He's got 7 health, and he just goes, blomp, 7/7. I'm like, okay, well, I die. Luckily, I had splash damage, but
yeah,
that's because
none of that really makes a whole lot of sense to you, but that's okay.
It's like a Magic player, just spouting like, blah, 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 I got Trample on, I got Jace the Mind Sculptor, and a Fire Blast you, and I win on turn 2. New.
Don't get this game. Really, don't. I mean, if you want mine, you can have it, but don't get this game. Whoops, did I say that out loud? Okay,
on a plus note, the printing is very pretty.
Yeah,
printing is
I mentioned that. Yeah,
pretty.
it's gorgeous. It's if you like looking at a pretty board game, it's a pretty board game. Look at all those colors.
The art
look at
is
that.
awesome.
Look, orange and yellow and other things.
And
don't get this game.
And but the thing that won me over is they use actual pictures from the video game, like as example right here. Look at Toss. Check it.
Yeah, that's cool.
The
and then they have like lore on the back so you can see who you're playing, and then Toss suck. Yeah, they got backstory. It's cinematic.
It's like Android. Stay tuned for our little take on Android. You'll probably enjoy that. It's you love reading your character's backstory. I fell in love with my character until I realized that no matter what I do, she's going to die.
That's a game that I didn't even bother reviewing because there's no point.
I think we should do it on our new channel.
Oh, then we have to buy another copy of it. If we're lucky, we can get... I'm thinking about making another channel with this guy. If we're lucky, we can do what they do on the Dice Tower, which is they get board games sent to them.
Yeah, but we don't want that one.
Well, we review it. Like, we review it and then we put it in a giant pile of Dear God, Never Touch Again. Or we can
Called
just...
the sell on eBay pile.
It's, if you've ever played Munchkin, it's a lot like Munchkin, where your idea is to screw your opponents and then get your character as far ahead as possible with other cards. Well, in this game, in order to make your character get far, you have to push them to the evil side of their like little bracket thing. And in order to make them go back to like normal, you have to play cards on your opponents. So it forces you to be terrible and make your character good by physically being terrible. It's like I have to make my character go insane almost, and then on my opponent's turn, say it was Matt, I have to literally make my character this holy, awesome person who's just so bright and fantastic by playing cards on him that just epically destroy his day. I mean, there's one card for one of the characters, I don't remember her name, but it literally locks down your opponent's entire turn and next turn effectively. And you can play that on turn 1. And playing that on turn 1 in that game, because it's a giant like space punk clue, is it's that's what turned us onto the game. We're like space punk clue.
Cyberpunk. It was.
Oh yeah, cyberpunk.
Yeah, I mean, hello.
Let's see. There's a giant elevator to the moon, and there's robots killing humans.
Taking into consideration that we both love Firefly, we love Serenity. I personally love Farscape. So, yeah.
Blade Runner.
Oh well, for some of us who aren't cool enough, we haven't seen Blade Runner yet. But yeah, I know. Anyway, that was the other thing. It's like a 4-hour-long screw you game. It's like taking about 6 or 7 Adderalls and then playing Fable 3.
That's about the best way to describe. No. Taking some Adderall and then playing 4 games of Munchkin at once, and then throw in some zombies.
And throw in zombies. It's like playing 4 different games, like 4 different it's like 4 different versions of Munchkin at the same time.
Yeah, you'd be playing like regular Cthulhu,
superhero and ninjas or whatever.
Yeah, the ninja one,
which we don't have.
No.
You have zombies though.
I have zombies.
Okay, it's like.
But you have to play Munchkin with 3 people, so it's not like 2 of us can ever play it.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah. Anyway, this review's gone on long enough, and it's more like a rant of don't buy this game.
Which sounds like most reviews.
No.
That you will hear from us.
Yeah. If we make the channel, I'll let you guys know. You can pop on over there. We've come up with a name, but I'm not going to tell you what the name is because I don't want anyone nabbing it. Because I know how you YouTube people work. So, I'm kidding. I love you. Stay subscribed to me.
We used to be YouTube users like you. And then we took an arrow. No, I'm not even going to say it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't make the arrow to the knee reference. Oh.
I was going to say something really funny, but I don't have to.
Listen.
No.
Oh, we're nerds. Anyway,
the water temple. It's done.
Don't say water temple. All my YouTube subscribers got unsubscribed.
I can't even drink water anymore.
Fuck water. All right. Toodles.